Raja
part
Abu
of the
Asir.
Indian history, ancient Indian history, we are going to discuss Harshavardhana. It is the last topic of ancient Indian history. Harshavardhana is the last Hindu great emperor. Last Hindu great emperor. Ruled North India. He ruled North India. By this time, during the time of the Harshavardhana's period, while he was ruling North India, Harshavardhana, while he was ruling the North India, this is North India, this is South India. So while he was ruling this North Indian area, in the South India here, Badami Chalukyas, they were ruling. Badami Chalukyas ruling in the Deccan. Opposite to the Badami Chalukyas, Vengi Chalukyas. Here Vengi Chalukyas were ruling. These are Western Chalukyas, those were the Eastern Chalukyas. Western Chalukyas and Eastern Chalukyas. Below that Vengi Chalukyas, Pallavas, they were ruling. Pallavas and Badami Chalukyas, Vengi Chalukyas, these three areas, these three kingdoms are most powerful kingdoms in South India, contemporary to the Harshavardhana in 600 to 647, this period. In the 600 to 647, this period. Coming to the point of this period, who were the rulers of that period, the contemporary rulers of that North Indian rulers. These rulers during the post-Gupta period, they ruled India in post-Gupta period. Harshavardhana, he comes under the post-Gupta period. During this post-Gupta period, in North India, this northwestern part of the North India, this was under the control of the Hunas. And Kannauj here, this was ruled by the Maukharis. Staneshwar, this area was ruled by the Pushyabhutis. And Vallabhi, Gujarat, this area was under the control of the Maitrikas. And Bengal, this area was under the control of the Gaudas. Malwa region, this Madhya Pradesh, Malwa region was under the control of the Guptas. Kamarupa, Assam, this area was under the control of the Varma dynasty. So these dynasties are there during the time of the post-Gupta period. All these were the contemporaries of Harshavardhana, that is Vardhana dynasty. Staneshwar Pushyabhuti dynasty is another name of the Vardhana dynasty. So coming to the point of the Vardhana dynasty, what are the important archaeological sources, and coming to the point of the sources of Vardhana dynasty, sources of the Pushyabhuti dynasty. Archaeological sources first. Archaeological sources, we know inscriptions of that period, especially the inscriptions. In that inscriptions, Banskera inscription. Banskera inscription, this is situated in the Shahjahanpur district of the Uttar Pradesh. This inscription issued by the Harshavardhana. Banskera inscription was issued by the Harshavardhana in his 22nd reign period. 22nd reign period. During the 22nd reign period of Harshavardhana, he issued Banskera inscription. This gives the lot of information regarding the Harshavardhana. This inscription says that Harsha granted Markat Sagar village, this Markat Sagar village was given to the, donated to the Brahmins like Balachandra and Bhattaswami. These two Brahmins were given this Markat Sagar village. That information we are knowing from the Banskera inscription. Another point of the Banskera inscription, Rajyavardhana defeated Dhruvasena. Rajyavardhana defeated the Devagupta of Maitrika ruler, but Rajyavardhana was killed by the Gauda ruler Sasanka. So it speaks about, Banskera inscription speaks about Rajyavardhana's death. Rajyavardhana, he was killed by the Gauda Sasanka. So this is information what we are knowing from the Banskera inscription. After this Banskera inscription, next to Madhuban inscription. Madhuban is it is situated in UP Uttar Pradesh, that is Goshi Tehsil area, Azamgarh district of Uttar Pradesh. So this inscription issued by the Harshavardhana in the 25th reign period of the 25th reign year, regnal year, that is 25th Harsha Samvata, around 631. Harsha came to the throne in 606 AD. He came to the throne 606 AD. 25th year means 631 AD. Harsha, he issued Madhuban inscription in 631 AD. So it mentioned about the grant of Somakunda village. This Somakunda village was given by the Harshavardhana to the Brahmins, that is Sravani Gotri Bhatta and Swamini Gotra Bhatta Swami, and also Vishnuvardhana. Visuvridhi Gotri Bhatta Swami Deva. So these two people, these two Brahmins were given land, that is Somakunda village. This inscription also speaks about Harshavardhana. After this inscription, next to Aihole inscription. Aihole inscription is not issued by the Harshavardhana. It has been issued by the Pulakesi II. This inscription was issued by the Pulakesi II. He was Badami Chalukya ruler. Badami Chalukya king. The great king of the Badami Chalukyas, Pulakesi II, he issued this inscription around 633-634 this year. So this inscription speaks about the war between Harshavardhana and Pulakesi II. Harshavardhana and Pulakesi II. There occurred a battle of Narmada on the river bank of Narmada. So this inscription, Aihole inscription, was written by Ravi Kirti. It was written by Ravi Kirti. Ravi Kirti, he was a court poet and also Army General of Pulakesi II. Court poet and Army General of Pulakesi II. Next, Navasari inscription. Navasari inscription, it was another inscription. It was not issued by the Harshavardhana. It was issued by the Vallabhi ruler, Maitrikas of Maitrika ruler, Jayabhatta III. He issued that inscription. It speaks about victory of Harshavardhana over Dhruvabhatta. Harsha defeated Dhruvabhatta. He was a Vallabhi ruler. Maitrika family, Maitrika dynasty. Vallabhi was ruling by the Maitrika dynasty. Harsha is also referred as a god, Parameshwara. Harsha mentioned as a Parameshwara in this inscription, Navsari inscription. After this, some historical literatures. Till now we discussed Banskera inscription, Madhubani inscription, next Aihole inscription, and also Navsari inscription. After this, we are going to discuss historical literature of the Harshavardhana period and Pushyabhuti dynasty. Coming to this historical literature. First and foremost thing, Harsha Charita. Harsha Charita, it was composed by the Bana. Harsha Charita, it contains 8 chapters. It speaks about Harsha. But this Harsha Charita speaks about Harshavardhana until Harshavardhana rescued the life of Rajasri and Harsha's ascendancy to the throne. That is what called as Harsha's coronation, up to the Harsha's coronation. This Harsha Charitra, biography of Harshavardhana, Harsha Charitra is the biography of Harshavardhana. It ended by the coronation of Harshavardhana. And Bana also wrote another book, Kadambari. Kadambari, it was also composed by the Bana Bhatta. It speaks about social conditions and economical conditions, religious conditions during the time of Harshavardhana. Along with this, Arya Manjusri Rupa Mula Kalpa, this was a Buddhist text. It is a Buddhist text. It was for the first time published in 1925. This book also speaks about religious conditions of Harshavardhana. Religious conditions of the Harshavardhana period. After this, Harsha, he himself the writer, he wrote 3 books. Harshavardhana, he wrote 3 books, Naganandam, Ratnavali, Priyadarshika. Naganandam, Ratnavali, Priyadarshika, all these are the 3 dramas which were written by Harshavardhana. Harshavardhana wrote these 3 dramas. These 3 dramas speaks about Harshavardhana. He wrote in Sanskrit language. He wrote in the Sanskrit language. After this, another important source which was knowing from the Harshavardhana period, it is Huyan Sang. He was a Chinese traveler. Huyan Sang was the Chinese traveler. He came to India during the time of the Harsha's rule. He came to India in 630 to 640 AD. This period, Huyan Sang, he lived in India, that is almost 16 years. Long period. So this is Huyan Sang, he wrote Siyuki. Siyuki means the records of Buddhist kingdom. He wrote that the records of the Buddhist kingdom. This book was written by the Huyan Sang. And Huyan Sang autobiography was written by his friend Hu Li, the friend of the Huyan Sang, Hu Li. He composed the biography of the Huyan Sang, and the name of biography of the Huyan Sang, the text, it is relevant information of the King Harshavardhana rule. It also speaks about the Harshavardhana rule. Another thing, Iching, he came to India. He came to India during the time of Yashovarman, that is in 678 AD. He came to India from China. There were 4 travelers came to India from China. One is Fahian. After the Fahian, Huyan Sang. After the Huyan Sang, the next two was Wang Huyan Sti. Wang Huyan's tea. After this Iching. Pahyan, he came to India in 400 to 410, that period. He was there in India from 630 to 646. He was there in India 648 to 650. He was there in India 678. Like this, four rulers. Four travelers, Chinese travelers. They came to India and they speak about, they left their accounts about India. They left their accounts of India. And this Iching also, he gave complete details of the Harshavardhana, the king Harshavardhana. And English translation of this work, Iching work, translated into English, that is on the name of A Record of Buddhist Religion. A Record of Buddhist Religion. After this, coming to the point of the Vardhana dynasty. Vardhana dynasty, it is also called as Pushyabhuti dynasty. Vardhana dynasty, it is also called as Pushyabhuti dynasty. According to the Bana, the kingdom, Pushyabhuti kingdom, was established by the Pushyabhuti. He was founder of this kingdom. Founder of the Pushyabhuti dynasty. That's why on the name of the Pushyabhuti ruler, it named after the Pushyabhuti ruler, Pushyabhuti dynasty, and they ruled from Taneshwar. Taneshwar was the capital. Taneshwar was capital of the Vardhana dynasty. So after the Pushyabhuti, there were three kings: Maharaja Naravardhana, Maharaja Rajyavardhana I, Maharaja Adityavardhana. So he was the first ruler, he was a second, third, fourth. But he did not considered as a ruler, he was just origin. Coming to the point of he was just origin. Then we can consider he was the first person, he was second, he was third. He was origin of the Pushyabhuti dynasty. Origin of the Pushyabhuti dynasty. So after this fourth king, coming to the point of the fourth king of this dynasty, he was Prabhakaravardhana. Prabhakaravardhana, he was fourth king, and Prabhakaravardhana, he assumed the title of Maharajadiraja. Maharaja, not only Maharaja, Maharajadiraja. Prabhakaravardhana, he expelled Hunas from India. Prabhakaravardhana, he expelled Hunas from India. That's why he was called as the lion of the Huna deed. Hunas were the deeds. He hunted the deeds of Hunas. He hunted the deeds of Hunas. Just a minute. So Bana, what he says that Prabhakaravardhana, he hunted the deers. That means Hunas were compared with the deer, Prabhakaravardhana compared with the lion. That means Prabhakaravardhana was the lion of the Hunas. Huna Simha. He was also called as Huna Simha. And Prabhakaravardhana, he had two sons, Rajyavardhana and Harshavardhana. He had two sons, Rajyavardhana and Harshavardhana, and one daughter, Rajasri. This Rajasri, the daughter of the Prabhakaravardhana, Rajasri was given to Maukari ruler Gruhavarma. Maukari ruler Gruhavarma. Maukaris, they were ruling from Kanauj. Kanauj ruler, Maukari ruler Gruhavarma married Rajasri. During the Prabhakaravardhana period, Prabhakaravardhana, while he was hunting Hunas, while he was hunting Hunas around 605 AD, Prabhakaravardhana died. Prabhakaravardhana died in 605 AD. So whenever Prabhakaravardhana died, his eldest son Rajyavardhana, he was eldest son of the Prabhakaravardhana. Rajyavardhana ascended the throne. He was the eldest son. That's why he succeeded his father. According to our Indian tradition, elder person will become the ruler. Rajyavardhana, he ruled just 1 year. It was at this moment. Coming to the point of Maitrikas of Vallabhi. Vallabhi Maitrika ruler Dhruvasena. And Gauda king Sasanka. So these two become alliances. Maitrikas of Vallabhi Dhruvasena, Gauda king Sasanka, these two become alliances. That means these two become friends. They wanted to occupy Kannauj. They invaded on the Kannauj. It was at this moment, who was the Kannauj ruler? Gruhavarma. The Kannauj ruler was Gruhavarma. This Gruhavarma was killed by Devagupta. Devasena, he was also called as Devagupta. Devagupta, he was a king of Malwa. Gupta ruler. Sorry, here Dhruvasena was Vallabhi ruler. Devagupta, he was Gupta ruler. Malwa king. So Gupta ruler, he was a Malwa Gupta ruler. Devagupta killed Gruhavarma. So whenever Devagupta killed Gruhavarma, Rajasri, wife of Gruhavarma, Rajasri, she was captured and imprisoned. It was at this moment Rajyavardhana, while he was a king of Taneswar, Rajyavardhana, he kept Harshavardhana in the Taneswar itself. He left Harshavardhana in the Taneswar and he moved towards Devagupta. So though Rajyavardhana was able to kill Devagupta, but Rajyavardhana, he treacherously killed by the Gauda Sasanka. He started conspiracy. He made a conspiracy, Kutra, that is conspiracy against Rajyavardhana. In that conspiracy, Gauda Sasanka, he went to the Rajyavardhana. Whenever he went to the Rajyavardhana, and Gauda Sasanka asked to the Rajyavardhana giving help from the Devagupta. That means he acted. Ante వీడు దేవగుప్త వీడిని చంపేస్తున్నాడు అనేటటువంటి ఉద్దేశంతో ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళాడు? రాజ్యవర్ధన దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళాడు. దట్ వాజ్ ఎ డ్రామా. Gauda Sasanka played a drama and he went to the Rajyavardhana for the help. Initially he went to the Rajyavardhana for the help, but finally he killed Rajyavardhana. That was the conspiracy. That was a plan to kill Rajyavardhana. Finally Rajyavardhana was killed. After the death of Rajyavardhana, Harshavardhana, he came to the throne. Harshavardhana, whenever he became the ruler, he has two tasks. One is he wanted to take revenge, that is, or avenge from Devagupta and also Gauda Sasanka. This is one task. Whenever Harshavardhana he came to the throne, he had two tasks after the death of the Rajyavardhana. Rajyavardhana was killed by the Devagupta and Gauda Sasanka. That's why he wanted to kill Devagupta and Gauda Sasanka. That is one task. Second task, to recover the Rajasri, to rescue the life of the Rajasri. These are the two tasks. But what happened during this moment? Rajasri, she known that Gruhavarma died. Her husband Gruhavarma died. Rajasri husband Gruhavarma died. And Rajasri's brother, eldest brother, Rajyavardhana, he was also died. Both were died. Now, nobody is there to rescue the life of Rajasri except Harshavardhana. But she did not have hope on Harshavardhana. These two are died. She become helpless. That's why what Rajasri did. Rajasri, she escaped from the hands of the Devagupta and Gauda Sasanka. She went to the Vindhya ranges. That is Vindhya forest. She went to the Vindhya forest to commit suicide. For the committing of the suicide, she went to the Vindhya forest. It was at this moment. Rajasri life was rescued by Divakara Mitra. So Harshavardhana, with the help of Divakara Mitra, rescued the life of Rajasri. So here Rajasri was rescued. With the help of Divakara Mitra. He was Buddhist. Rajasri also became Buddhist nun. And Kanauj was given to the Harshavardhana. Because Kanauj was the place of Rajasri. Rajasri husband Gruhavarma, he was ruler of the Kanauj. So Kanauj also was given to the Harshavardhana, he was ruling from Taneswar and Kanauj. Finally, Harshavardhana, he shifted capital from Taneswar to the Kanauj. Kanauj became capital of Harsha. After this, Harshavardhana's conquest. The conquest of Harshavardhana. Harshavardhana, he was a great warrior. Harsha was the great warrior and great soldier, great conqueror, great warrior and conqueror. To take revenge on the Gauda Sasanka. Initially, he invaded on Malwa. First task was Malwa. Harsha, he invaded on Malwa. He killed Devagupta. Harsha killed Devagupta and captured the Malwa. That is Gupta ruler. After this, Harshavardhana, he concentrated on the Gauda Sasanka. Initially, Gauda Sasanka, he escaped. While he was fighting with Devagupta, initially what we said, Devagupta and Sasanka, these two were the friends. While Devagupta defeated by the Harshavardhana, Gauda Sasanka, he escaped and went to the Bengal. He went to the Bengal. So, to go to the Bengal from Kannauj to the Bengal is not easy. That's why to defeat Sasanka, Gauda Sasanka, Harsha he took the help of another ruler, his friend Bhaskara Varma. Harsha took the help of the Bhaskara Varma. Bhaskara Varma. Who was Bhaskara Varma? Bhaskara Varma, he was king of Kamarupa. Bhaskara Varma, he was king of Kamarupa. Bhaskara Varma, he was king of Kamarupa. Kamarupa is Assam. What is Kamarupa? It is Assam. This is what called as Varma dynasty, which was ruling Kamarupa. Already I introduced to you all the dynasties. So with the help of the Bhaskara Varma, finally Gauda Sasanka was killed. Finally Gauda Sasanka was killed by the Harshavardhana with the help of Bhaskara Varma. So Harshavardhana, he killed Devagupta, and also Gauda Sasanka. Harshavardhana occupied Malwa area. After this, Harsha he continued his conquest to the other areas. Harsha he conquered northwestern India, that is Saraswata or eastern Punjab, Kanyakubja, Ganda, Mithila, Utkala. These are called as 5 Indies. Harsha occupied 5 Indies. 5 Indies also called as Pancha Sindhu. Harsha became the king of 5 Indies, that is Pancha Sindhu. The king of the Pancha Sindhu. After this, Harsha also conquered Latha or Gujarat, Malwa in the Gujarat. Latha and Gujarat were also occupied by the Harshavardhana. And Harsha also, he conquered all the territories between the Kannauj and Pundravardhana. The areas between the Kannauj and Pundravardhana, these 2 areas were completely occupied by the Harshavardhana. All those became subjugated. Subjugated means accepted the supremacy of Harshavardhana. The people, those who are accepting the supremacy, they are subjugated. They are called as subjugated kings. These were also called as feudals. So Harsha, he also called as Siladitya. Whenever he came to the throne, Harsha came to the throne on the name of Siladitya. This Siladitya title, on the name of this Siladitya, we can find a coin. Siladitya coins were found at Bithaura. And after this, we are knowing from the Madhuban inscription. According to the Madhuban inscription, Harshavardhana he gave Gosi Tehsil village. Harshavardhana he gave Gosi Tehil village to the Brahmins. Madhuban inscription. This was there at Sravasti. So this village is near to the Sravasti. So that's why this inscription, what is that inscription? Madhuban inscription. This Madhuban inscription says that Sravasti is also part and parcel of the Harshavardhana kingdom. So Harsha he also included Sravasti in his kingdom. Next, after this, Harsha he continued his campaign against the Western India. Coming to the point of the Western India, Western part, he wanted to be strong at the western part. In the western part, the strongs were Vallabhis, Gujarat. The people, those who are ruling Gujarat, that is Vallabhi kingdom. Maitrikas of Vallabhi. Initially, Maitrikas of Vallabhi were defeated by the Harshavardhana. Maitrikas of Vallabhi, Devasena was defeated by the Harshavardhana. Latter period, in the second conquest, Harsha, he made matrimonial relations with Vallabhi rulers because he wanted to become very strong. That's why he gave his daughter to the Dhruvasena too. Harsha gave his daughter to the Dhruvasena too. Dhruvasena too, he was a Maitrika ruler. So he made friendship with Maitrikas. So after this is the Gujarat, coming to the point of that. So North India, he completed 5 Indies, and also he went to the Bengal, he occupied Bengal, he also occupied Malwa region. Next he concentrated on the Western India. After the Western India, he wanted to come to the South India. Next step, he has to go to the South India after the completion of the Malwa. So to become very strong, to enter into the South India, to enter into the Deccan, to cross the Narmada river, Harshavardhana, he made alliances with Maitrika rulers. He made alliances with the Maitrika rulers. So next what? Harsha, he also conquered Sindh according to the Bana. Bana wrote Harsha Charita. Bana, he mentioned Sindh is the part and parcel of the Harshavardhana. Sindh was extended well up to the point of the confluence of Punjab rivers. After the Sindh, Harsha also occupied Orissa area. Orissa, it was at this moment, Orissa was under the control of the Gazapatis. Gazapati rule was started in the Orissa. So after this, I said to you, Harshavardhana, he concentrated on the South India. When he concentrated on the South India, he wanted to cross the Narmada river. So he became the king of entire North India. This area was occupied by the Harshavardhana. Then he wanted to cross the Narmada river. If he wanted to cross the Narmada river, here there is a Badami kingdom, Badami Chalukya kingdom. Here there is Vengi kingdom, and here there is Pallavas. You know that Badami Chalukyas and Pallavas, always they are going to conflict each other. It was at this moment. The Badami Chalukya ruler was Pulakesi II. Pulakesi II was a Badami Chalukya ruler. Pulakesi II. Badami Chalukya ruler. And Mahendra Varma I, he was Pallava ruler. These two were the contemporaries of Harshavardhana, Pulakesi II and Mahendra Varma I. These two are the contemporaries of Harshavardhana. Whenever Harsha he wanted to cross the Narmada river, he was stopped by the Pulakesi II. That we are knowing from Pulakesi Aihole inscription of Pulakesi II. Pulakesi II issued Aihole inscription. It was written by the Ravi Kirti. Already we discussed that. According to this inscription, there occurred war between Harshavardhana and Pulakesi II on the river bank of Narmada. On the river bank of Narmada, there occurred war between Harshavardhana and Pulakesi II. In this battlefield, Harsha could not able to defeat Pulakesi II. But Pulakesi II mentioned in his inscription, Aihole inscription, he defeated Harshavardhana. According to the Aihole inscription, Pulakesi II defeated Harshavardhana. And also another information was given by the Huyan Sang. In the Huyan Sang writings also he said that Harsha could not be able to defeat Pulakeshitu. So based on this we can come to one conclusion. Pulakeshitu defeated Harshavardhana on the river bank of Narmada. Pulakeshitu defeated Harshavardhana on the river bank of Narmada. So there occurred war between the Pulakeshi and Harshavardhana. So Harsha mentioned as, according to the Aihole inscription, in the Aihole inscription, Harshavardhana mentioned as Sakalottara Padadiswara. Sakalottara Padadiswara. That means the Lord of whole North India, the Lord of entire North India. That was mentioned in the Pulakeshitu Aihole inscription. So like that, in the complete North India, Harsha defeated all the rulers, but whereas coming to the point of the South India, Dakkan, that is Harshavardhana, was defeated by the Pulakeshitu. Next, coming to the point of the Harsha's relation with China. Harsha's relation with China. Harsha maintained very good relations, friendly relations with China, and during the time of the Harshavardhana period, Huyan Sang he came to India. Huyan Sang he came to India in 630 AD from China. And also Harshavardhana he sent a Brahmin envoy to the court of the China ruler in 641 AD. So like this, Harshavardhana he maintained very good relations with China. After this, Harsha he died in 647 AD. Harshavardhana died in the 647 AD. After the death of Harshavardhana, this Kanauj, the kingdom of Harshavardhana, was occupied by Alanusya. Alanusya, he was also called as Arjuna. Alanusya or Arjuna. He was a Brahmin army commander of the Harshavardhana. He captured the Kanauj after the death of Harshavardhana. He became the ruler of Kanauj from 647 to 650, this period. Why the Brahminical revolution occurred? Because Harsha he followed Buddhism. Finally, during his period, during the Alanusya period or Arjuna period, Wang Huyansti he came to India. He was a Chinese traveler, Buddhist Chinese traveler. He came to India and he visited the court of the Alanusya or Arjuna. Alanusya or Arjuna humiliated Wang Huyansti. That means Wang Huyansti was severely humiliated by the king, severely insulted by the king. So because of that, Wang Huyansti he gathered Buddhist monks. With the help of all the Buddhist monks, Wang Huyansti he captured the king. See here, he captured the king and he parceled the king to the China. By this ended the rule of the Alanusya or Arjuna. After the Alanusya or Arjuna, Kanauj fell under the control of the Ayudha rulers, Ayudha kings. So Ayudha kings they ruled Kanauj. After this, Ayudha rulers they ruled the Kanauj area. Ayudha rulers Chakrayudha, Vajrayudha. Chakrayudha and Vajrayudha. That was about the Harsha and the Harsha successors. what happened in the country during the time of the Harshavardhana and after the Harshavardhana. That happened. So what happened? Harsha died in 647 AD. After this, Alanusya or Arjuna, he came to the throne. He was killed by a Buddhist monk and partial to China. After this, Ayudha rulers, they ruled Kannauj area. But Kannauj became most important, powerful political center, religious center, cultural center of India in the early medieval period. Kannauj, it continued from almost 600 to 800. 600 to 800. This period, Kannauj was a very powerful area. For the cause of the Kannauj, there occurred many wars. So Kannauj was centered around 200 years. Around 200 years. So remember that. Next to Harsha's administration. Coming to the point of the Harshavardhana's administration, Harsha, he followed the Gupta's administrative system. He followed the Gupta's administrative system. What is the Gupta's administrative system? Gupta's administrative system is decentralized administrative system. Gupta's administrative system is decentralized administrative system. Decentralized administrative system means giving importance to the feudals also. That means sharing power with the feudals. That was feudalism. Feudalism was very powerful during this period. Because of this feudalism, Gupta Empire was declined. But feudalism was not ended. Feudalism continued during the time of the Harshavardhana period. What is feudalism? Coming to the point of the feudalism, it raised during the time of the Gupta's period, giving land grants to the army officers. Giving the land grants to the army officials. These army officials, feudalism means giving land grants to the army officials, army officers. They were called as almost governors. They were also called as governors or army generals. Army generals. These army generals, they would maintain land. The land which was given to them, that land revenue will be collected by the feudals. This land revenue will be collected by the feudals. This land revenue will be collected by the feudals. After this, with this land revenue, these feudals, they would maintain army. With this land revenue, feudals, they would maintain army. This army would be sent to the king. They would send to the king at the time of the wars. At the time of the wars. Whenever wars are going, by that time, feudals, they would send their army to the ruler at the time of the wars. But otherwise during the time of the non-war period, what they will do? In the non-war period, coming to the point of the non-war period, suppose there were no wars. In this period, these soldiers, they would utilize for the purpose of the agricultural works. Remember here, So soldiers are using for the agricultural works during the non-war period. Because feudals, they did not have money, that money for the maintenance of the soldiers. They have to maintain soldiers and land. Soldiers will be utilized for the land cultivation, and soldiers will be sent to the army at the time of the wars. Whenever wars are going on, at the time of the wars, remaining period, soldiers will be farmers. Soldiers will be farmers. Because of this, soldiers, they do not have any training. So soldiers, they did not have training. That's why feudals, they did not maintain strong army. But king, he would concentrate, he would completely dependent upon the feudal's army. That's why feudals become a weakness to the ruler. Finally, one of the major cause for the decline of Guptas also this feudalism. Coming to this point, first king. After the king, feudals. That means king have some feudals. Feudals, they would maintain, or you can write like this. First king will have feudals. Feudals, they would give land to the some farmers. Here there are also farmers. These farmers, they would maintain some army soldiers. This is what called as pyramid system. There is no direct contact with the king and soldiers. This was the major drawback of feudalism. Because of this feudalism, Gupta rulers, they were declined. So that is about the Harshavardhana's period also continued. In the Harsha's administrative system, this was also continued. Harsha, he continued the feudal system, and also he was assisted by the Mantri Parshad. Here, king is head of the state. And he maintained the Mantri Parshad for the purpose of the administrative system. King divided the kingdom into Bhukti. Bhukti is also called as province. Again, Bhukti was divided into Vishaya. Vishaya is divided into Pataka, Taluka and Grama. Grama or village is last unit of the administrative system. Head of the Bhukti, he was Uparika. Was the head of the Bhukti. Vishayapati. Here Pataka and Taluka, these two areas, Ayakas, they were ruling these two areas. Gramanika. These are the heads of that area. They used to rule themselves. Divided into Bhukti, Vishaya, Pataka, Taluka, Grama. And coming to the point of the army, it consists of infantry, cavalry and elephants. But chariots are absent. Chariotry was not there. Chariotry was not mentioned. Infantry, foot soldiers. Cavalry, horse. Elephantry, elephants, those who have the elephants. So this is the army of the Harshavardhana. Whereas coming to the point of the revenue, Harsha, he collected less revenue, that is only 1/6 of the produce. That is only 1/6 of the produce. That means around 15 to 16%. Harshavardhana, 16 to 17%, 1/6. 16 to 17% of the produce he collected. For example, if one farmer, he produced 100 bags, out of these 100, only 16 to 17 bags were given to the state. But before the Harshavardhana, even Gupta's period, Guptas, they collected 1/4 to 1/6. It varies from one to the another. 1/4, that means nearly 25 bags. Out of the 100, nearly 25 bags. Out of the 100, nearly 25 bags. So revenue, they collected revenue both cash and kind. Both the cash and kind. Cash, kind means any material. Suppose one carpenter, for example, one carpenter, he can give his tables or chairs as a tax. Some tables or some chairs as a tax. That is in the kind. Kind means material. During the time of the Harshavardhana's period, Chinese pilgrim Huyansang, he visited the court of the Harshavardhana. Huyansang, he said that revenue divided into 4 parts. One part was earmarked for the expenditure of the king. This is one part, collection of the revenue. Second part, that collection of the revenue will give to the scholars, and that collection of the revenue was used for the officials and public servants, endowment, officials and public servants, and fourth part was given to the religious purposes. He said that Harsha used revenue into 4 parts. The first part is Harsha used revenue for his own expenses, and second, Harsha used revenue for the giving scholars. Third, for the purpose of the endowments, officers, public servants. Fourth one is religious purpose. So Harshavardhana, he used like that. And revenue, after this, after the revenue, coming to the point of the judiciary. Judiciary during the time of the Harshavardhana. King was fountainhead of the judiciary. King, he was fountainhead of judiciary. King was the fountainhead of the judiciary. And criminal law was very severe of that period. Final decision will be taken by the king. No appeal to the king. Punishments was very cruel. Cruel punishments are more. In spite of the severity of the laws, the crimes were very high of that period. Crimes also high of that period. Next, after the administration of Harshavardhana, coming to the point of the religion of Harshavardhana. If you come to the point of the religion of Harshavardhana, Harsha initially he followed to worship sun god and Lord Shiva. Sun god and Lord Shiva. That's why whenever he is coming to the throne, whenever Harshavardhana is ascending the throne, he came to the throne on the name of Siladitya. Siladitya. Both Ishvara and Sun, both are combination, Siladitya. But whenever he rescued his Rajasri sister. Rajasri, she was rescued her life by the Buddhist monk Divakara Mitra. Because of her influence, Harsha he embraced the Buddhism. So this was influence of the Rajasri and also influence of the Buddhist monk Huyan Sang. With the influence of both that, he took the Buddhism. Harsha was the follower of originally Mahayana Buddhism. You know that there are two Buddhist elements, Mahayana and Hinayana. Mahayana and Hinayana. Mahayana Buddhism was very popular. Hinayana Buddhism was not that much of popular of that period. Hinayana Buddhism almost it was not there in the North India. So according to the Huyan Sang, he also delivered about the Buddhism, and during the time of the Harshavardhana's period, Nalanda University was developed. Nalanda University developed as a Buddhist university. Harsha he gave 200 villages for the development of the Nalanda University. 100 villages for the development of Nalanda University. Harshavardhana he gave 100 villages for the development of Nalanda University. And during the time of the Harshavardhana's period, Buddhism it is divided into 18 sects according to the Huyan Sang. So, though Buddhism was enjoyed royal patronage at Kannauj, but remaining place of India, Hinduism was more. Buddhism it was royal patronage, only in the royal patronage. The another most important thing coming to the point of the Harsha's religious point, Mahamoksha Parishad. Harsha he started Mahamoksha Parishad. Nearly every 5 years once, it conducted every 5 years once. Nearly 6 times he conducted Mahamoksha Parishad. Kannauj Mahamoksha Parishad, that was the 6th one. Kannauj Mahamoksha Parishad, that was 6th one. Honored by the Huyan Sang. Huyan Sang was head of the Kannauj. Here the council was attended by the 18 kings, 300 monks, and it was continued for the 5 years. This is called as Mahamoksha Parishad. What is the importance of Mahamoksha Parishad? It happened for every 5 years once. For this 5 years, whatever Harshavardhana, for these 5 years, whatever Harshavardhana he accumulated wealth through the taxes or through the revenue, the complete property, the complete accumulation of the wealth earned by the Harshavardhana will be donated to the poor. He would donate it to the poor the wealth which was earned for 5 years. 5 years ఎంత సంపాదించుంటాడో అంతా పేద ప్రజలకు పంచేవాడు. He used to spend his money and wealth. That is Mahamoksha Parishad. Kannauj, Prayaga Mahamoksha Parishads are most important. Prayaga is the 6th one, that is in 643 AD. After this, Harshavardhana's pattern of literary things. Harsha, he was also a poet, he himself the poet. Harsha, he patronized Bana, Mayura, Matanga, Divakara, like several scholars. These several scholars were lived in the court of the, adorned the court of the Harshavardhana. Bana, he wrote Harsacharita and Kadambari. Ratnavali, Priyadasika, Naganandam. These 3 works were written by Harsha. Harsha, he himself the writer. He wrote all these 3 Sanskrit dramas. Next, Harsa's court poets. We already discussed Bana. He wrote Harsacharita, Kadambari, Parvati Parinayam and Chandi Chatakam. These 4 books were written by the Bana. Mayura, another important scholar, he wrote Surya Shatakam and also Ashta Shatakam. Bhartrhari, another scholar, he wrote Subhashita Shatakam. Suddala, another scholar, he wrote Udayasundari Katha. That is about the Harsa's writers. And during the time of the Harshavardhana period, there are some officials, important officials. Rajasthaniya, he was chief of the Bhukti area, province or Bhukti. Vishayapati, he was the ruler of the Vishaya. Mahattar, he looked after the matters of village. Gramika, he was an officer at village level. Brasta Kuladikarana, he was an officer also at village level. Asthapatika, village accountant. Mahasandhi Vigraha Kruta, head of the wars, he was head of the wars. Mahabaladikruta, commander-in-chief. Brihadiswara, he was chief of the cavalry. Chatbat, paid and unpaid soldiers. Chatbat, he was paid and unpaid soldiers. Chatbat was the paid soldier and unpaid soldiers. Katuk, chief of the elephants. Duta Rajasthaniya. Duta means sending to the foreign, that is ambassador, foreign minister. Upanik Maharaja, Uparika, governor of the provinces. Upanik Maharaja, he was also called as Uparika. Along with this, Ayuktaka, he was subordinate officer, that is under the Uparika, he was a subordinate officer under the Uparika. Mimansek, he was judge. Mahapratihar, chief god of the palace. Bhogika, Bhogapati, land tax collector. Dirgandag, he was a past messengers. Aspatalik, clerk. Karnik, also clerk. These two are the clerks of the Harshavardhana's period. So this is about the Harshavardhana's period. We completed Harshavardhana's period, that is Pushyabhuti kingdom. Initially we discussed the Pushyabhuti kingdom. After founder of the Pushyabhuti kingdom, what is that Pushyabhuti and the remaining Pushyabhuti rulers, Prabhakara Vardhana, Rajyavardhana, Harshavardhana's conquest and Harshavardhana's religious policy, Harshavardhana's administrative system, Harshavardhana's literature, all these things we completed. So this is about Harshavardhana period. Now we completed the Harshavardhana. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the contemporary rulers of the Harshavardhana, that is post-Gupta rulers. We will discuss in the next video. Okay, good luck.